welcome to another episode of Talks with Inframantra, and today we have a special guest, Mr.Jasmeet S Anand, who is a former branch banking head for HDFC Bank and IndusInd Bank for Central India and North India. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you, Shweta, first of all, for inviting me to the show. And I'm glad that I'm here and talking to all of you today.
And we have some questions from our audience, and it would be our honor if you could answer those, sir. So, sir, first question is, what are the global market impacts we foresee due to Russia-Ukraine breakout?
First of all, you said, what is the global impact of Ukraine and Russia war? So there are multiple impacts which will be, this talk show will be too small to discuss all of it. But let me just first of all focus on India and how will it impact us, which is India, our stock markets and other businesses as well. Stock markets are basically replica of what business is doing. So first of all, many of us would know and many of us would not know the maximum impact of anything which India will see is on the edible oils. 90% of the edible oil is imported from Russia today. And that is the first impact, what I am seeing on our market. The second impact is on the chemicals, because Ukraine is a large supplier of chemicals and drugs to India. And this will inflate the medicine prices, and edible oil will definitely inflate your food prices. So this will have some impact, or maybe a lot of impact on our medical as well as on the food side, on the prices. But having said that, these are all estimates. I'm also just giving you an estimate of what can happen with Ukraine and Russia war happening, with the supply getting shortened, with the supply getting delayed and stuff like that. But everything has a positive side also to it. We all remember a few days back, there was a COVID 2020. Everyone, we all have faced it, we all have seen it. When COVID happened, we all thought that stock market will go down the drain. Businesses will close down. Property will completely make all the losses. See what happened in just 2 years. We are sitting in 2022 and look at the property prices. They are skyrocketing. Look at the stock market. It is almost double than what it was in 2020 April when the COVID just hit. Similarly, all the impact which we are seeing today, whether it's edible oil, whether it is crude, whether it is medicine, you never know. Maybe some of it comes as a brighter side to the overall thing. Maybe you will see in times to come where a lot many new innovations will happen. If the crude becomes a problem, or if the petrol becomes a problem, people will move to EV, electronic vehicle. That's just one small example I'm sharing it. I'm not saying it will happen or it will not happen. But it may happen that if there's a shortage of petrol, people will start using electric vehicles. People will start using some other means where petrol is not needed. For medicine, definitely, we will have to depend either on Ukraine or some other country for supply of the chemicals, because those medicines we cannot survive without. We have already seen in the budget, which has just recently launched, there is hike in medicine prices. So we will see some of these impact coming here. But having said that, India is a very large economy. Today, in the entire world, India is not discounted at all when it comes to the global markets. As and when we move ahead, we are quite confident, and not only I am saying the entire India is quite confident of its own strength. We will keep moving up and we'll keep innovating new things. Just a very small thing I would like to share. In 1947, when India became independent, there was nothing which was being manufactured in India. Everything we were importing from outside. Imagine the state today, like in 70 years, everything is produced in India. We have factories for everything. We have innovation here. We have skill. We have brain. We have people, and we have consumers also within India. So the global impact will be there for sure. We cannot stay unimpacted, but a lot of it will be absorbed by the local domestic consumption in India itself.
So another question is impact on Indian investment and strategy ahead.
Okay, well, I'm not a strategist. I'm not a big investor as well. I keep a track of stock market a lot just to stay updated a lot many times. So I will not give you the perspective of an analyst. I will give you the perspective of a common man and how do I look at the investment and the strategy as we go ahead. See, one thing is pretty sure, not only the stock market investor, but every investor today, whether somebody is investing in real estate, whether somebody is investing in stocks or any other asset class, is quite confident of India's growth story, that India is going to grow as we go ahead. And India will grow irrespective of any political interference, political parties and so on and so forth. India will grow and it will grow because of people like you and me who are contributing to the growth of the economy. Now the investment strategy, what is being looked at in the stock market today is there are sectors which are going to do very well. Now I can talk about banking and finance sector. There is a lot of merger acquisition happening, a lot of innovation on the fintech space which is happening. You look at the number of fintech companies which have come up in last few years, and all of them are doing pretty well. Some are doing better than others, but all of them are doing quite well. The digital payment which has now taken over completely the Indian economy, still there is a lot of need and demand of a bank, a physical bank as well, despite completely small transactions being moved to the virtual banks also. Having said that, there are other sectors, banking and finance is one, and I'm including fintech also into it right now. And then there is the pharma sector, then there is the infrastructure, IT sector, can never be overlooked at. All these sectors definitely are going to do very, very well. Having said that, if at all these sectors are going to do well, some companies will do better than others within those sectors. Now these companies, how do we identify them? How do we get into these companies? There are two methods. One is always tried and tested method. And you please pick up the companies with a track record which have done pretty well in their past. They are going to do well in future as well. Look at the agility. Look at how agile these companies are. Are they moving with in line with the market? Are they changing themselves? Are they molding themselves as per the requirement of the market today? So you have to pick up those stocks in case you want to pick up from the safer ones. And the other strategy is very simple, that you can always look at the new startups coming up. Somebody who's just started, some company which has just came, but yes, very promising. So how do we find out that whether it is promising or not? One, the management, because the people on the board of management, you have to have confidence in them. Look at their past track. Look at what they have done in their past with the earlier companies or in their earlier profiles. And second is the demand of the product in which they are coming. So these are the two strategies one can adopt. One, go for the strong track record companies. Second, go for startups where you see a lot of potential and you have trust in the management and the product which they are going to deliver.
Moving ahead, sir, another question from our audience is, what is the importance of real estate investment in the asset class?
Okay, so when it comes to investment, and I'm sure that all of you would have seen your parents or grandparents talking about saving and investing. So for saving, there was only one thing which was fixed deposit till few years back. And even when I started my career, the only option to save was fixed deposit on a savings account. That's all. I never knew about mutual fund. I never knew about stock market. I never knew about any other investment. There are two investments in India which any and every person thinks of. Some do it and some don't. But there are two such investments. One is gold. You will find that in every household in India. In South India, you'll find it more. In all other parts of India, you'll find it. Everyone has something in gold in their house. A woman will have a gold chain. If they cannot afford a gold chain, they'll have an earring. If they cannot afford that much also, they'll have 1 gram coin in their home. But everyone, whether it's a housemate, whether it's an owner, whether it's an industrialist, whether it's somebody self-employed, you will not find a house in India which does not have gold in their kitty as an investment. And people say it's ornament, but it's more of a mental satisfaction which they keep in terms of gold as an investment. They always feel that in case we need, we can sell and we can encash it anytime. And the other investment thing which Indians talk about is real estate. Owning a house is very important in India, and I'm sure that it's same all across as well. But I'm talking about my culture. And owning a house in India is one of the most important things for anyone. The moment you get married, you get an advice from your family, from both the families, saying start saving so that you can buy a house of your own, which you can call your own house. When you have your kid, you should have your own house. That's the advice which people give. So the investment in real estate is nothing new, and every generation wanted you to invest in a real estate. Now whether you call it a house, whether you call it an apartment, whether you call it whatever, but this is already ingrained in our mind that we have to have a real estate as a class in our portfolio. When people get their first house, make their first house, move on and still have more money. Nowadays people have a lot of disposable money. Earlier, making a house was the end of the life. That once you make your house, you're done. After that, you don't have to do anything. Nowadays, asset class includes your real estate investment, your stock market, mutual fund, gold, and many other. Cryptocurrency is also one of them. But real estate gives you the most stability in your mind when it comes to any asset. You have a land which you can call your own. Whatever may come, that land is yours. If you have a 500 square plot, whatever may come, inflation goes high, inflation goes down. Whether stock market is 18,000 or it goes down to 9,000, your plot will stay 500 square yard. Whereas all other asset classes, they will go up or down along with the movement in the market. So that's the security it gives to your mind. And for generation to pass on a family wealth in terms of real estate is the biggest blessing for the people who are getting it. So I think real estate is one of the most important asset class in the overall portfolio, especially in Indian culture. I'm saying all other cultures as well. I'm sure that land and properties are appreciated by everyone in every culture. But in India, one thinks that I have to give real estate to my kid when he grows up. That's one. But also the way the property prices are appreciating, and the reason is very simple. Population is increasing, the area is not. The area will stay the same as much as it is, and the population is increasing every day. When the population increases, everyone will need their own houses. The land is a scarce commodity in India. So more population increases, the prices of real estate will keep going up. You will see places like Mumbai, Bangalore, Gurgaon, Noida, where more of floating population is there. The land has almost come to an end. So it's now not increasing horizontally, it's going vertical. I mean apartments. So people have started living in apartments here. And the reason is that there is no more land left here. So imagine the same will happen to tier 2, tier 3 cities in times to come. So this asset, which is real estate, cannot be neglected by anyone in any form.
Okay, sir. So last question is, any advice for viewers on stock market investment?
This is something very close to my heart, and I work with a lot of youngsters on training them on how to get into stock market, how to start stock market investing, and how to manage the portfolio going further. So the first and foremost advice is never over leverage yourself. You have 100 rupees, invest 30. If you have 100 rupees and invest 200, there is all the probability that you may go wrong with it someday. Second advice, which I'm now trying to give to everyone, that don't stay away from stock market. You have to be in the market. Small or big portfolio is up to you, but do not stay away from stock market, because this one asset class is growing faster than any other. The biggest thing which we have seen in last few years is that companies which are doing well, and they are taking the stock market to next levels. I wanted to own a business, I could not do it. I have an option today also to own that business. By just buying one share in that company, I own that company. So imagine, it's very easy to enter, it's very easy to stay there. but have a long-term plan to invest and make money. There is no shortcut in any asset class, whether it is gold, whether it is real estate, whether it's stock market. There is no shortcut. If you want to make your career in stock market, then it's very different. But if you want just invest in stock market, then invest as much as you can spare every month from your income. It should be part of your income which is getting invested in stock market, and you're getting returns after maybe a few years. You'll start getting returns from the investments you're making now. Same goes true for real estate as well. If you buy a house, right, you will have to pay the EMI for let's say next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. The benefit will be reaped only after 15 years. If you want to reap benefit from stock market, stay invested there for long term and then reap the benefit out of the stock market. But countries like us, where still only 3 or 4% people are investing in stock market, the potential is huge and the upside is also huge. You have to be very cautious. Don't take too much risk. Do not over leverage yourself. And lastly, do not stay away from this market. You have to get invested in stock market to reap the benefit of the economy growing.